idea, the lighting is still kind of bright and contrasty, but I wanted to sit here by my man-made pond to talk a little bit more about domestication and the simulation of natural environments, and talk about the inherent intelligence in living systems. What David Bohm referred to as the implicate order, that within this holonomic intelligence, in a sense, what I think of as the root intelligence. From the way I see it, consciousness and intelligence are essentially the same thing. It's like the implicate and the explicate order. Consciousness is the implicate order, and then intelligence would be the explicate order. And that's why I don't actually agree that most of what we think of as intelligence, you know, our cleverness, our ability to create machinery and technology, I wouldn't say that these things aren't the result of intelligence. But what I would say is that from my experience, there is an intrinsic intelligence, and then there is just in a sense, learned cleverness. I actually don't consider most of what humanity has done to be all that intelligent. I think we're just good with our hands. And so what I wanted to say was that I see intelligence in a sense like a spectrum. I think that's the best way to put it. And I look at intelligence like a spectrum. And there's higher resolutions of intelligence, and there's lower resolutions of intelligence. And to the point where you have a completely dense and disconnected intelligence. My friend Aldo has returned. Aldo is a baby crow who's not such a baby anymore, whom my daughter rescued during the summer when we were in the middle of the intense heat wave. If he gets ornery, I have one of his favorite treats, which is the sesame breadstick, which he goes nuts for. It's like he's addicted to him. Yeah, I don't know, you can't see it when he thinks he's getting something, he waves his little arms like this. That's the way he was when he was a baby. When we would feed him, he would just flap his little arms and go, "Ah, feed me." Now he's a wild animal. He's not domesticated. And ouch, he's really rough, and he bites real hard. And I'm trying to create more separation between us so that he gets more independent. He's free to fly around. I think his record is he was gone 3 days. He likes my wedding ring. He's always trying to get it off. His record was he flew off for about 3 days. He came back in the evening, right before a thunderstorm was taken off. But he's been out in storms. He's been out in all kinds of weather. And he went out for 3 days, 2 nights. but I think it's kind of regular pattern now. He'll disappear for a day or two. We'll see how independent he gets by the time winter comes. I'm not quite sure how we'll cross that bridge, but when we get to it, and I keep hoping he'll find his people. Yeah, I keep hoping you're going to find your people, because we've seen them, right? We've seen them. They landed right on we saw one right on the wire here, one on the telephone pole, and they were checking him out. I hear them every now and then, and they fly by. They seem to holler when they fly by. I think they might be saying, "Hey, Aldo." Yeah, he bit me right in the eye. That's what I mean. These aren't. He's not a pet, and or they don't really. Maybe they don't really make very good pets. See, he's going for the bracelet my daughter made me. He's always. This is one of his favorite things. Shiny things. And I was cutting my hair as I had the mirror. I was sitting outside. I was cutting my hair, and he was right here. And I guess because my eyes were open and I was doing this, he bit me right in the eye. Well, he bit the white part. I mean, he pecked me one time really close, really, in the eye, really close. It didn't hurt too bad, but this time I think he actually, like he's doing right now, biting, pecking and biting. And yeah, just the good demonstration. It got all red and swollen for a week, and it was sensitive to light. I couldn't focus quite right. I thought he really messed it up, and he just pooped on me. So you see, what I'm saying about these guys. They don't make very good pets. He's always pooping on something in the house or a shirt. So anyway, getting back to what I was saying is that I wanted to kind of talk about this in the beginning of this podcast because I wanted to define what I meant by intelligence, what I mean by the search for terrestrial intelligence. I think I mentioned before that I didn't want it to be human-centric, that my understanding of intelligence is much more broad in a sense, a holonomic sense, where intelligence and consciousness are similar. He just bit my toe. Okay, we're gonna get him distracted here. I have a secret weapon. He's about to attack the wire too from the. See what I mean? He's gonna come get this. Go. Yeah, he can't resist a sesame breadstick. If I'm correct, and I don't know that I am, this is what I'm saying. This is the way it looks to me. This is the way I experience consciousness. This is the way I experience my intelligence. Is that it is, like I said, a spectrum, and that you can have higher resolutions of intelligence and lower resolutions of intelligence. What I am saying a higher resolution of intelligence is that an intelligence that is much more resonant with consciousness. If consciousness is the implicate order and intelligence is the explicate order, the expression of that universal intelligence, or I should say omniversal intelligence, then it's like a signal that you can receive. You can attune your mind to that signal and you can bring it in clear, or you can lose your connection to the signal and your intelligence then becomes lower resolution, to the point where you can have a very dense, and this is what I think, the materialists are. I think they are people who have a very, very dense intelligence resolution. And it doesn't mean that they're not intelligence. For instance, these people can be incredibly intelligent when it comes to mathematics, when it comes to mechanics, science, and biology. When, those that really observe life as a machine. I'm not one of these people that is going to say that, life is an illusion and that our physical body doesn't exist, that we're only spiritual energy and we're only spiritual beings. Because it's the same thing that I'm talking about right now. All of this exists in different levels of resolution. And as you come to it's not a judgment to say higher or lower, but when you come to a lower resolution, you start to experience a much more dense reality. And in the lower resolution, your body is physical. You get hit by a car, you're going to know what I mean. We have a physical reality. We have an objective reality. The difficult thing is that we live in an objective reality, and yet you can only experience it subjectively. And so in your mind's translation of your experience, there's a whole lot of interpretation that happens. There's a whole lot of your senses are being recorded as a representation of your experience. That's the objective reality being experienced subjectively. And what we know from brain science and from cognitive science and things like this is that your brain literally interprets reality for you. Your brain actually has, in a sense, some form of a artistic license in what it shows you, what you're experiencing. And the intellectual yoga that Krishnamurti talks about is that attempt to eliminate that editor, that internal editor, and eliminate that space in between the observation and the observed, or the observer and the observed. Maybe that's for another conversation. What was I saying, Aldo? the way I would express a understanding of spiritual energies or energy bodies and things like this is that in higher resolution connection to a holonomic consciousness, you can experience a more expanded understanding of reality, a more expanded understanding of what is physical. Because, as I said, we have a physical body. We have this organism, this biological organism. But what we also know about that, or we think we know about that, is that it is made up of lots and lots of really teeny tiny particles that aren't touching. So I'm not a physicist, I'm not a scientist. I don't really care about whether it can be proven with mathematics or not. I think if they ever get to it, they will find that David Bohm was very, very close to understanding a really true concept of the unified field, of a theory of everything. But is that even possible? Does it really matter to me? No. Because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to understand philosophically, spiritually, consciously, I'm trying to understand the nature of what I'm experiencing. And yet I don't need mathematics to understand the nature of what I'm experiencing. And I don't even have to understand everything completely, because there's a whole lot that you can experience that you can't understand, or that you couldn't explain. So I look at myself as a participant observer of life, and I try to get a clear understanding of what it is I'm experiencing as I participate. So that's a little bit of how I see intelligence in this pan-dimensional omniverse. I see it as connected, because I don't believe that disconnected perceptions are intelligent. I don't, because what I see happens with disconnected perceptions, what I call just human cleverness, is that we tend to do everything in he's attacking the wire again. Hang on. I need sesame stick. He's like a 3-year-old. He gets into trouble. If he gets into trouble, what you do is you distract him. Where are you gonna go? How about to the waterfall? What I talked about in my introductory monologue, it was that you see our priorities are disconnected from reality. So we produce useless things. We produce a whole lot of useless and destructive things because the priority is a profit motive. And we're doing immense amount of destruction on a planet-wide scale, on a global scale, just to have more. The individuals that are really driving this don't feel connected. They don't feel like it matters. But I've always found this really, really kind of perplexing, because even a really selfish individual, even a person who is only concerned about themselves, if they had intelligence, a connected intelligence, they would know that it's in their best interest if they don't destroy the world. You know? I mean, they live here. It's like they're burning their house down, but they keep going to the room that's not burning and counting their money. And then the house keeps burning and they keep moving to the next room, counting their money, trying to get more, when in the end, they're just going to be in a house on fire. Yeah, so even for a selfish person, that type of motivation by profit without any consideration for impact is not intelligent. It's not. They might be brilliant mathematicians. They might be extraordinarily brilliant chemists or physicists or who knows what. But that is not what I would call intelligence. Those types of those types of people, they're just clever, and they're too clever for their own good, because what they're doing is literally destroying the planet. The people who build weapons systems, the people who build nuclear bombs, nuclear energy, or on and on and on. I'm not going to get into the individual pieces, but if in their understanding of production and design, they don't contemplate impact and then make that important, they just don't have a connected intelligence. They just don't have that level of intelligence that would say, maybe I'll take this back to the drawing table so that, these products we're creating don't kill people, or don't destroy the planet, or don't cause toxic rivers or massive pollutants. Or maybe the medicines we're creating are actually based upon health, wellness, and well-being, or health, nutrition, and instead of just a really good drug for business. So to me, that's what the search for terrestrial intelligence means. It means reestablishing a lost connection to a terrestrial intelligence, that is inherent in nature and within ourselves, within our origin. To me, this is the remedy to the post-human dystopian future that is threatening to take us all captive. And I don't want to go that road. I'm not going to go that road. So I'm going to take the path of life. So thank you for coming. My name is Adam Lane, and this is the search for terrestrial intelligence.